So I wanted to do a longer video um, to help bring some of my family and friends up to speed of what we've been doing here and what we've been working on, and some of you have helped us with some of the progress that we have today. You know, we used to have a fence here, right? This used to be one of the horse enclosures with a gate, and we needed to remove it all because we needed to be able to create a large garden. The garden is going to consist of raised beds. It's going to also consist with in-ground beds, mainly for larger produce. The fence that's still back here by the bat house, it's going to get moved. So the next phase of this project is to take this fence out. I'm going to take it out probably next week. We'll take this back fence and we're going to get a whole new fencing surrounding the barn, surrounding the back of that carport, which we're going to turn into a high tunnel. And so that's like probably another 15 yards behind this fence. And then we'll have long rows this way, right, of corn, sunflowers, potatoes, all the plants that are in the ground that I need to use my tiller on. Pretty much will go in this area. I'll have all of my tractor equipment on this side. The horse and the donkey will be on that side of the property, in that side of the barn, because these barn doors, these stalls, we removed those two stalls. And obviously in our large episodes, you're going to see this really from start to finish. But this is, like I said, just a quick update. These two stalls will be used for potting and some of our greenhouse goods. Like I said, this fence will be pushed back like at least another 15 yards. I'm gonna have to install another line towards the bottom of the electric fence because the donkey will actually get to the ground and roll under it. At least that's what I've been told. This fence is going to stay, but 3 feet inside it is where we're going to have an 8-foot fence. The deer, from what I've been observing over the last 5 months, because we've been on the property for 5 months, basically will not traverse through this area once I have the 8-foot fence. They will pass in the front, way up in the front, and they will pass through the back pasture. They do right now walk through this area just because it's convenient and they can, but they won't come once I have that fence up. They're not going to hop these fences. There's other easier ways for them to go to and go through. So I'm pretty confident with an 8-foot fence, I'm not going to have a deer problem. Obviously I'll update everybody and do a new post, but that's not going to be the case. So again, all of this is going to be beds from here to where the temporary garden is. The temporary garden, that fence is going to get removed, and all of what's growing in the temporary garden that we were using just to, understand the soil and the bugs and find out what we don't know, which was a lot. All of those beds are going to become blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. It's just going to become berries. And that is kind of the vision right now of what we've got. Obviously the chicken coop, we originally wanted the chicken coop way back in the corner, and we're going to do a large greenhouse here. And we decided that we really wanted our chicken coop to be kind of the focal point of this garden. Now, we're going to have beehives all throughout the property. We're going to have probably 4 in here, probably somewhere on this back fence line. I obviously have a gate there and a gate towards the front so I can bring my tractor through here to do mowing in the front pastures and the back pastures. And also all the way up in the front, we're going to be doing an orchard. So we'll have bees out there. I'm probably going to get one of those things. You might have seen them on the internet. It's called a flow hive, which is kind of like a pretty supposed to be easy, user-friendly beehive, but I just like how it looks. I think we're going to have one in here just, as kind of like a pretty focal point somewhere amongst the garden. We'll have flagstone, we'll have lots of cedar chips, the pathways through here, it might even be pea stone, but we know that after the last 5 months, there is going to be a lot of weeds. So we're trying to right now figure out what is the best way to keep the weeds out and keep the weeds down. And that's something that we're, obviously constantly working on right now. But I think I've got an idea, and I think I have a way to make sure I can create pathways that these weeds aren't going to come up through. So, but I know it's some of you have seen the drawings that we did when we built this out, or when we were starting to plan all of this, and it is starting to come together. So over the next few weeks, we'll get the larger fencing installed. We'll start taking away this small temporary fencing, and then we get to test critter control, right? So I want to be able to see with the larger fence, is anything hopping over? Is anything coming in here? Because this right here will become a buffet if they can. And that is pretty much it. I'm excited to share it. I'm excited to share it with all my family and friends, and people that are, actually starting to follow. And, if you've got suggestions, if you have lessons learned, let me know. I'm definitely starting to get more involved on YouTube and TikTok. And it's interesting to see everybody else out there and what they've done and the challenges that they've had and things like that. This, like I said, this channel is all about just showing family and friends like what we're doing. And it was always our dream to come out here and build a sustaining farm, and we need a lot of different components to do that. One of the things about being sustaining is, where am I going to put solar panels? And we're thinking about doing solar, and where is that going to consist of? Well, our property's east to west, so that way the sun rises and it obviously sunsets way back to the backside, and we could do panels all up on the top of the barn so we don't have to take up any room on pastures. So it's going to be cool stuff. It's going to be interesting to see it come together. And I appreciate people watching this transformation, the things that are changing. And stay tuned. And that was a quick update. I'll catch you all next time.